Welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. It's your co-host, Mr. Brown, Broken Guapo, 10 toes down, big head up. We here in a dope setting with some dope people and some good drinks. What up?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Bro, I get better and better every week.
Every time.
I'm telling you, short, clean, to the point.
Right.
I'm trying.
Efficient.
I learn from you, Ash. I learn.
Efficiency. I gotta switch up my intro because usually I'm like, guess what day it is?
It's not.
It is not. So it's Tuesday Eve, y'all. But you see the nice chair, you see the cardigan. It's matching the vibe.
You smell it. No.
If you see it and you smell it and you like it,
Ow.
buy it.
Ooh.
I've never once smelled anything that I've bought.
What?
I don't think.
You never bought anything from the thrift store.
Exactly. That's it right. That's clock it. Clock it.
You've never been thrifting.
Heard you.
Because there'd be some things in that.
It sure is.
Yeah, it's your boy Spence, King Aquarius, Mr. 20%, Faux Dog. We are here in a beautiful aesthetic. I don't know if y'all can see the background. Fire and Forge. We are also here with the owner and founder, Justin Morales. Let me give you a little round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Hit the wrong one. Connecticut local. Started this place from the ground up. Also, shots. What, you've been making whiskey 9 years now?
No, we're 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, I've been drinking whiskey over 9 years.
Got it. Yeah.
Probably longer than that, actually.
Whether you knew it or not.
Yeah.
Got you here on the podcast. Want to hear a little bit more about
Sure.
you. Voila, introduce yourself, good
Yeah,
sir.
so I guess we're doing this. So Justin Nighthawk Tio Morales.
Nighthawk.
Yeah. That's why you got to call me Nighthawk. That's my thing.
I ain't
No,
calling
you don't have to
Justin.
call me Nighthawk. I'm saying that's what I say. You got to call
I
me
don't even know who
Nighthawk.
Justin is.
There's a really funny story about Nighthawk. I'll tell you another time, but later down the road. But first, thank you for the introduction. I am not the owner, and I'll tell you why. So we're not owned by anybody. That's the cool thing about us. We're a social enterprise. So we are 100% charity. So most restaurants, you see people that are like the owner's driving a Maserati somewhere. It's like, he's the owner. That doesn't exist here. We're run by a trust with our executive director through our charity, Forge City Works, and then they bring us over here to do these social enterprises. We have a grocery store, a catering kitchen, and then the restaurant Fired by Forge. So I'm just the guy that runs. I was going to say run it, but I run around it a lot. That's me.
I stand corrected.
Very humble
Yeah,
as
it's all
well.
good. Yeah.
That's fascinating. Just like from a business strategic standpoint, I like that.
This is the first I've ever heard of it.
Sure.
How did you come about? Did someone present it to you? And
Yeah.
we're gonna get into the question of the
Yeah,
day.
no,
I'm just
1,000%.
intrigued.
So this place used to be called Firebox
Yeah.
a long time ago. And then what happened was the person that ran it, her name was Carrie Wheaton. She was associated with the charity Forge City Works. And sadly, she passed away during COVID, so they never reopened it. And what happened was they hired a new executive director named Ben DeBow, who is an awesome, fantastic chef. And he opened a lot of restaurants, worked in a lot of restaurants, and an old friend of mine. And he called me up one day and said, hey, here's my idea. I want to change the game. I want to make a non-toxic work environment where we bring people in with employment barriers who don't have direction, and we want to teach them how to have a career, and we want to do it through food. And you're my guy. Can we do this? And I said, let's try it. He brought me on board, and we built it, obviously 2 years ago, and it's been a blessing. A lot of hard work, for sure. But when you do hard work, and when you grow a tree, and you can pick the fruit, or someone else can pick the fruit, it makes it seem so much worth it. So it's a different type of environment than a normal restaurant.
Love that. Dropping gems already.
Right? Gosh, that was dope. Okay, cool. So, as we told you before, we start off every episode with the question of the day,
Sure.
By yours truly. So, my question of the day this week is, what is your favorite childhood sing-along movie?
Child sing-along movie.
Yeah.
Wow. First one that comes to mind, and I don't even know if this is my true answer, is The Lion King.
Facts.
As it
That's
should be.
like all I hear in my head is, "Oh, I just can't wait to be." That's the first one that comes to mind.
As it should be.
Right.
But also, all Disney movies are sing-alongs, but Okay, I guess there was the Jungle Book. Like what? I'm not gonna say High School Musical.
I'm a nerd. Grease was my shit.
Grease.
Grease was my shit.
But is Grease a true childhood sing-along?
Well,
It's a
he
musical.
watched it in his
It is-
childhood.
Yes, but I feel like it is a musical, yes, but
And you-
I don't think it's
You
like...
did say childhood, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
so I feel like when people hear that...
Different times.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel when people
Trust me, I
hear
know.
childhood, then they're thinking like PG and down, like not PG-13 and up.
Was Grease PG-13?
Grease was PG.
I was about to say, there's references.
You know
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were gang members, but
Not the quotes.
yeah.
Watch they pull up on you. Be
So
like,
I have to, honestly, that's tough for me because I don't remember ever doing a sing-along. I never sang this like I don't remember ever doing that. I also grew up in a different time, I think. So I didn't see my first Disney movie until I was like 13. And and it was
79.
and you're about to close, but I'm about to embarrass myself because I'm going to be honest with you. It was Little Mermaid.
that's in my top
and
5. So
Kiss the Girl by Sebastian. You got to kiss the girl.
Yes.
I mean,
A
I'm like,
classic.
to this day, at 50 years old, if I go to a bar where there's a band, I'm like, play Under the Sea. And they're like, what? One place did it in Florida for me. It was like, I was with my girl in Florida and we were like,
kind of
we were
energy.
loose and I yelled that and all of a sudden it came on. I'm like, I'm feeling really good right now.
Oh, so we gotta bring you to karaoke.
No, you do not.
See, but even just hearing like musical and thinking child, look how happy we all just like.
Fair.
fact.
You know what I mean? Like even
Because not a lot of people even talk about Sebastian's songs in Little Mermaid. Like Little Mermaid is a good movie, but like Sebastian goes overlooked. Thank you.
Oh, he was the guy.
Thank you.
He
I mean, my
under the
day.
sea.
That man, he could sing. Okay,
she was
he could
all right,
sing.
but he made it fun.
Exactly,
He made the movie.
he did.
I don't remember it. That's
Exactly, that's the problem.
That's one of the movies I've seen like a handful of times.
I got all of them things on VHS.
Me too.
Do you have a VHS player?
I'm sure my dad does because he
I
has a
have one.
Sega Genesis and a. What you doing with a VHS player?
See, I don't like when anybody come at me like that because they look at me. That's real ageism.
Like I'm not judging
That could
you.
be a hobby.
That's ageism.
Yeah. Okay.
Some
okay.
people like things.
I'm an old soul, so my mom is a true OG. So she had her VH from, I want to say like the 70s, and then when she came to America, she brought it with her, and then she gave it to me.
She brought it with her.
Sentimental.
Yeah. So like that's literally my childhood because it was in my childhood room, and I would always pop my VHS in there and just sit and
Does
watch.
this still work? Mm-hmm. Like not even trying to be funny because that thing is
Yeah,
at
no,
least 30
it's
years
30.
old.
Let me ask you this: after the movie was over, did you always rewind it?
Of course.
Okay, see, I never did. People hated watching the movie after me because they were like, "Oh, come on!" Now.
You just gotta let it run all the way through, and it does it on its own.
Well, yes,
Does it
mine,
really?
my VHS
Cheat
player
code.
does that, yeah. But yeah, you always have to. So yeah, I still have my VHS player. It's literally on the bottom of my TV stand.
Movie night at Ash's house.
My mom has my VHSs, but yeah, when I move and stuff, yeah, y'all could come.
What's
pop in
your
the
What's your
VHS.
song?
So I have a few. So I feel like Kiss the Girls one, Lion King of the entire Lion King song album.
Right.
I feel like even too the entire song album from Mulan is a good one too.
Pocahontas too. Just
my
around the river bend went
What?
crazy.
Colors of the Wind? Colors of the Wind?
Facts.
No, me and Spencer, we had a Disney sing-along karaoke
For
night
like an hour.
driving back from New York over the summer.
That'll make your trip better.
Right.
At like 2 a.m.
Yeah, just vibing.
So I'll tell you, I just had a daughter not too long ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. She's 8 months, and the reason why this is relative because when you told me that, I play obviously Disney movies, and they're in the background. She's not sitting there staring at it, but if something's going to be on the TV, it's going to be that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I remember, I think Moana came on.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, I'm in the kitchen, and it's just me and my girl, my daughter's sleeping. And all of a sudden, I started singing that song from Moana.
How far I'll go?
And she's looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I can't stop
Yeah, it's
singing it.
it's
I
so
can't stop
good.
singing it."
Trolls. You watch Trolls once, Trolls will be in your head
Honestly,
forever.
Trolls is like my comfort movie if I'm having like a hard time going to sleep. I'll just put it on because I like to listen to it in the background. Like I don't want to watch it, I just want to listen to it. So
Yeah.
I love that you do that for your daughter though. That's sweet.
Thank you. Hopefully, she appreciates it someday when she's asking me for money.
To see all the live action Disney movies that they are still coming out with.
Facts.
like Mufasa.
So now that we're here, right, and you bring up your daughter, we're talking about like our childhood and stuff, and we started off with talking about Fire by Forge, right, and it's strongly centered around the community, right? We're just talking about family. What does community mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question because it really is the heart of everything good or bad that happens. And I guess what I mean by that, it's one thing I realized growing up is you'll never be able to do it alone. And there's people out there that transcend that, very few. Like Michael Jordan's kind of a guy who did it himself. Like he pushed stuff.
He had trainers and things though.
Sure. But his will kind of, I feel like he could have had scrub trainers and he would have trained them. Like he just had
He would have been MJ.
There's just
Facts,
people,
yeah.
and it's not, there are a handful of those people, but they're like one in a century type of people, right? I think most human beings, we do things better together. Like we just do. And like I'm sure Jacob could do this podcast, but I bet this podcast is really good right now because of everybody that's involved.
True.
And so that's community, whether it's a small community, large community in every aspect. And I just being a leader, and as I started to lead more, I realized my team, it's not my team, I'm part of their team, it is the community. I have everybody in the community has a responsibility depending on your role. And so being here and dealing with the youth that are coming through or guests that are coming in from the neighborhood, if they're thriving, we're all thriving. If they're sick, we're all sick, right? So it's just community is to me a singular entity based on a lot of pieces.
I like
I guess,
that,
if you will.
and it makes me think, right, because you guys are heavily reliant upon each other, and similar to what you were saying from early on is that you guys are not one of, like, there's no boss, there's no owner, and it's like you guys need the community just as much as the community comes in
100%.
here, So it's very interesting and with that aspect, because not a lot of restaurants are probably brave enough to try and function that way, right? Like a lot of them are like, no, we have our own money, blah, 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 but the community contributes heavily. So when you were speaking earlier, and I know I was reading on the website, I want to get it right. Culinary and customer service job training program. And I know you were saying that you guys help people, where was it? Get jobs through barriers and stuff.
Yeah.
So can you speak on that and what kind of barriers and what's that program like?
Yeah, that's the sole reason we exist, right? So when you look at most restaurants, their sole purpose is make money.
Right.
I mean, that's really, it's a business, so
Right.
it's make money. Because we're a social enterprise, and we're part of a charity, we're not a business necessarily, our sole purpose is our mission. Our mission is to help people with employment barriers gain fruitful work, not just like a job where they're making minimum wage for 15 hours, part-time. It's like you got to make a living. And the great thing about that is it's legacy building, as Ben DeBoe, who's the executive director, always likes to say, which what that means is if you have a family, right, you have kids, some people come in here that have children at a very young age. And so now their kids are seeing their parents working hard and growing and thriving. And that's legacy building. It's bigger than just that one person. It's the people around them. Having people that have, when I grew up, I was kicked out of high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just kind of like, I had no concept of what I wanted to do. 9 to 5 was not going to happen for me. I just would not have thrived or survived if I did 9 to 5. It would not have happened. I'm telling you right now. But luckily I found my way into a kitchen. I don't know how it happened, but I started working in a kitchen, and it was like raunchy and awful, and people were talking horribly, and it was like riff-raff people, and I was like, I am you, and I'm happy I'm here.
I'm home.
I just felt good. I felt like I was on a pirate ship, and I meant to be a pirate my whole life. And so it was like finding something. But then it started to realize these are professionals. We're just misfits, the island of misfit toys. We're just different. We just run different. Doesn't mean right or wrong, it's just different. And so I started to embrace the lifestyle of the restaurants, and I started to find direction. And I realized there's a meritocracy in restaurants that doesn't exist anywhere else in the entire world. And it's kind of like our own little club. And the harder you work, it doesn't matter your background. There's zero demographic that matters. It only matters if you show up, you do your job, and where do you want to go with it, right? So I saw people thriving, and I was like, I can do that because we're the same people. So I made a career out of it. And from someone that was eating blocks of cheese, that the government dropped off once a month and free lunches and getting kicked out of high school, to someone that, because of the restaurant business, went to Ica, Peru, Amatitan, Mexico, Paris, places I never, in my head, I was not going there. I wasn't getting out of the town I was in. It just wasn't going to happen. But I realized I had direction, and with direction came purpose, and with purpose came motivation. With motivation, comes success. And then now that I'm here, it's like come full circle, which is exactly the reason I wrote the book, that we could talk about it or not. But either way, my point is, the reason I'm here is because I came full circle, and I realize that if I had this then, I would have been way faster along. And of course, a lot of these kids, sometimes some are coming from much harder places than I can imagine, but they're all with their own issues, and they all have to be talked to differently and learned differently, and every human being is different. So it's how we connect with them, and what can we do to set them up for success, right? So I just rambled, and I apologize. So I don't even know the base of the question. But the bottom line is, what we do matters on way bigger levels than even individual, because the individual changes the world too.
Right.
So if you can change the world through 1,000 people that change the world, it just can be a better place.
And so you just said, and I'm going to paraphrase, if you had this growing up, right, you would have got to where you are quicker. Mm-hmm. And I guess, should you rush success? Because you had to go through all those things to get to where you want to be and who you are now. You know what I mean? And you said, oh, this is where I wanted to end up and whatever, but you still had to go through those things. So by having this, obviously it is a great resource for kids or whoever is working, but how are they still learning through those triumphs and obstacles and things? And speak to some of the triumphs and obstacles that you had to go through as well.
I love that question. That's such a great question, because it frames it perfectly. So I would not, when I say faster, I guess for me, I am happily embrace every single challenge, and whether a good thing or a bad thing that's ever happened to me. I'm blessed for it. However, I don't want anyone else to have to be blessed that way. Everyone has to go through it their own way. And so I guess what I'm saying is, not because I said before, earlier, not everyone survives this business.
Right.
I've been here for 34 years. So I'm not saying rush it. I'm just saying give it better direction, I guess, right? So I'm lucky that I missed some of the traps that a lot of people fall into. I saw them a little quicker than some people, so I'm really lucky. However, the traps are still there. So I guess not rushing them to success, but helping them avoid the traps.
Right.
But still, and I'll tell you, I'm sure half these kids have enough challenges, right? So it's not that they even need more. I'm sure they have enough to keep them.
Right.
Because I had a chip on my shoulder for a long time. And I didn't know it until the right time that chip on the shoulder is doing nothing but weighing. There's a weight on that chip, right? You can't climb when you have a chip on your shoulder. It can drive you, put you in a direction, which it did. It got the motor running, but it stopped you from going farther. So once I got the motor running, I got to learn, embrace things more positively. That's probably not going to help.
All good.
Sorry, and kick that chip off and grew. And I want them to be able to kick the chip off, feel comfortable with growth.
Right.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that chip that you're mentioning, because it's interesting, the double-edged sword of said chip, because that chip probably helped you get where you are into certain places. So where did the humility come from? When did that kind of take place of the chip? Because you're a very humble person from what we've met, from what you show. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Listen, the great thing is I've been humbled. When you're young, right, and I can only, this is me speaking for me. I won't ever speak for anyone else. But when you're young, and things happen to you, where the chip comes in, you get angry about stuff. You get angry at people around you that have nothing to do with but you're just angry, right?
Right.
And it's okay when you're young because it keeps you going. It's a compensating skill. It keeps you motivated. You can either be defeated, which sadly a lot of people are, and you can see people that are defeated. And when they're defeated, they live a sad life. They're a victim life. Where you can see you can see the angry way. I went the angry way. So I was like, I am not going to be a victim. But what happens is you victimize others in some way, not necessarily like just by being angry, right? The person next to you that you're angry at had nothing to do with whatsoever with what happened with you, right?
Right.
So then, anytime that I would hurt somebody in any kind of way, whether it's just like being, not physically obviously, but like just being a jerk, I was like, that doesn't feel good.
Right.
It doesn't serve me by being mean to somebody else. And somehow, and I don't know where or when, but I know it happened. It's just through time. I was humbled enough and saw what I was doing to other people enough that I didn't want to feel that way. And I was like, and then as soon as you start treating people good and embrace people, then you see the difference. You need a level of maturity to see the difference. But once you see the difference of embracing someone instead of pushing somebody away, it's a game changer. And you go so much farther embracing people and showing love than you do showing anger. But you don't know that.
I love that.
It's so it's funny because the long sayings, like if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
Literally.
I like that.
So and I think this is similar to what Spencer was just asking, right? Because very much in my soccer career, I had to always prove myself. I'm a kid that grew up between Bloomfield and Hartford, played for Bloomfield High, so it's not like I was at a big school. I went to a D3 school, so I knew that I always had to prove myself if I wanted to get anywhere. But then it gets to a point where your resume grows, and it's like, I have proven myself, and I'm kind of tired of this. But you never are finished,
Yeah.
You're never going to have to stop proving yourself. So with that and the chip that you were kind of just referencing, how does that get you to the point where you're an award-winning mixologist? You are traveling the world through, the restaurant industry, because at some point it's like you did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I just found something I was just good at. Like, sorry. So like I said, with the meritocracy of the restaurant business, I quickly realized if I can do well, I can create my own career.
Right.
Like where, most people, you have to go to college. Like I was like so angry with people that were like had college degrees and parents, like as simple as that, right? I was just like, oh, and then I realized, what, I can have anything they can have if I work hard. Like I just saw it, and then one success led to another. So I'm sure, just like you, when your resume started to grow, victories started getting on victories.
Right.
And at one point, the door breaks down. Like if I sit there and I bang against that door 1,000 times, and it starts to budge more and more. You know what I liken it to, because we're all New Englanders, we all have been buried in snow. Have you ever gotten your car stuck in snow?
Yep.
So what you do is when you get your car stuck in, and you hate it, right? So you start to push, and nothing really happens the first push. Second push, you get a little rock. Third, and eventually you start to feel that rock, right? And you're like, oh, I got this now. And it's rocking. And then you just keep pushing. You give it that one more push, you get out, and you feel like you've got a victory.
Let's go.
But it's you gotta keep going. Just because you don't feel that push the first time doesn't mean you didn't make any motion. It just means you didn't see it or feel it.
Right.
20 minutes after doing it, you're like, I got this. It's rocking heavy right now. So I think that's kind of where it just all fell into place. I just kept going and going and going and going and going. And I realized I just didn't want to stop pushing until that car's out of the snow. And that's how it grew.
That kind of reminds me of, I want to say like a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about, motivation versus like determination. And What you said resonates with me a lot because it does speak to the fact of like when you have that inner grit, you want to call it, and learning to keep fueling that inner grit and knowing like even when the chips are down, like you're still going, you're still pushing. So when working with these children or even adults that are in this program, do you feel like it's challenging to teach them how to have that grit to keep pushing forward, even if they're in the program and they're not maybe seeing the results they want to right away? Because I think we're also living in a time of like instant gratification, and everyone wants to see like that instant result because like they worked hard, but life teaches you like you still have to keep working hard to still get that big moment. So do you ever see those challenges in your program?
All the time. As a matter of fact, so I'm one of the instructors here as well, and I teach customer service and hospitality. And I was such a bad student that teachers didn't want me in class. And it's payback time. It's payback time really bad. So I teach kids, I'll go in there and my thought process, and adults too, because it's young adults and older adults. But I go in there trying to connect. I don't go in there trying to teach. Because if you connect first, you can teach. If you don't connect, there's no teaching. Mm-hmm. You're just talking at people. You're reading something. Words, I realize, don't ever matter to people unless they mean something. It's a weird thing to say, I know, because words mean something, but they don't matter unless they connect with you.
It has to resonate.
Yeah.
It has to strike an emotion.
Otherwise, it's just sounds.
Right.
And a lot of times these sounds bounce off people that don't want to hear what you're saying.
Right.
So I do face those challenges, and I do my best to connect first. You can only do what you can do, and that's something you have to forgive yourself a lot too. So you can only do what you can do. So I will do my best to, and we always do our best to try to get this cohorts to the best place they could possibly be.
Yeah.
And we stick with them because everybody takes 2 steps back.
Right.
I don't care who you are. Nobody just keeps going forward. Yeah. Everybody takes 2 steps back.
Quickly too.
Quickly. And so we stick with them, but I will tell you, you can only do what you can do.
Right.
Eventually, if it doesn't connect, it's bigger than us. We're just who we are. So we have to forgive ourselves, but we will always do our best to try. So, but yes, I have faced those challenges, and I hope, I always ask at the end of the day, I ask the other teachers and stuff, I go, hey, if you heard anything about that class, let me know. Because I want to know, can I be better?
Right.
Can I connect
Getting
better?
That constructive feedback.
My teachers sucked. I didn't help them, but they didn't care either. So
literally,
I want them to know that I will be better if I can.
Right.
And I don't want to fail them. So.
And I like that mentality too, because I think a lot of the time too, kids, adults, whoever like have been put into situations that they didn't ask for, they do get very discouraged because they're always just being talked at. So they appreciate when you're able to, one, first see them and listen to them and actually speak to them than just to like speak at them.
Yes.
So
1,000%.
So can you, because similar to what you were saying earlier and just said that a lot of the kids, are going through their already hardships, right? And you are connecting to them through humility, right? We're all humans here. You're humans before you're a bartender, before you're a chef, before you're a soccer player, before you're a teacher, whatever the case is. And I'm sure that you speak to this in the book, and I think I'm using this term correctly, and if not, we're going to let me live. But the double entendre of the title Serving Life, right? Can you maybe speak to some of the hardships that help you connect to the kids? Because if I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to give too much, and I'm definitely going to read it, maybe the learning disability that you had as a kid, as well as some of the stuff that happened when you first got into the industry and things of that nature.
Yeah. No, I tell them, I definitely present myself as someone that didn't know how to do things. Like I didn't know how to fill out an application. No one taught me how to do that. And that's the sad part is there's so much talent in people, but they don't even understand the first basic rules of filling out. Like nobody fills out, they just don't know, no one's ever taught them that, right? So it doesn't mean they can't, it means they don't know. And I go through that mentality where I always assume people don't know. So I do the I don't know and I don't care situation. Anytime I manage in any of my restaurants, I don't know and I don't care. I always assume everyone doesn't know. I give them 2 I don't knows, maybe 3. After that, they don't care, right? So, but what I do is, I think it's really important is I try to tell them, that I did not have direction. I had no real opportunity for growth. I was extremely poor, dysfunctional family. You know, I'm dyslexic. No one ever looked at it, so I didn't know till later. But no one bothered to look at it. So I was kind of just like, well,
What town did you grow up in?
Manchester.
Do we need to go back?
I knew it. I knew it in my heart.
I give a
hearts.
Manchester vibe.
Yeah, because I grew up in Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you sound like you went to the Manchester like education system. You go to Bowers, Illing, Manchester High.
So I didn't go to Bowers. I went to Robertson.
Okay, on the other side
I was
by
in the north end.
by the baseball field.
But yeah, the pond, Union Pond, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And then I went to Illing.
Yeah,
They kicked me out of Illing. Then went to Bennett.
same.
And then in Bennett, they took me out of the regular, out of Gen Pop.
And you went to Bentley.
They put me in. No, they put me in this like off building, like for like kids that shouldn't be in this.
Where the home ec used to be.
Yeah. So I was there, and then I ended up going to Manchester High, until they didn't want me there anymore either. So that was my ride in Manchester.
I felt it. I'm telling you.
I just had to ask. Like, I have my own gripe with the school systems. Obviously, you have your experience as
I'm
well.
sure they're all. I mean,
Yeah.
Listen, they're some of them are doing the best they can.
Right.
It's not all teachers, obviously, but back in that day, it was funny because they would have a conversation with you,
Right.
and they would see that I wasn't completely, totally dumb. Could talk to you. I could speak to you. I could have a reasonable conversation. I had reasoning skills. I understood what you were saying, but I never did my homework because I couldn't. So I just did other things. So I just didn't. Then, and when I got there, I couldn't read that well. So I just stopped going.
Yeah.
And when I went, anytime I could pick up on a teacher making a mistake, I would jump on it, and I would be a bad kid because I was like, no, I'm gonna challenge you, and I challenged them daily, and. You look back at it now, it's different, but I didn't challenge them to be challenging. I challenged them to prove to myself that I had what it took to withstand toe-to-toe with someone that's teaching me.
Right.
I want to know, who are you teaching me? Like, right, because I had that chip. So who are you to teach me? What do you know that I don't know? What do you... I like people that can blow me away with their minds and say some things and drop some knowledge on me. Then I start to listen. But if I don't know you, I'm not going to just listen to you because... you're wearing glasses and you're in front at a desk. Like, that doesn't show me anything.
You haven't
with
earned
the
the
chip
right.
I had.
Right.
So, that school just didn't hit for me very well, but life did. So I learned a ton. I traveled a lot, and you learn a lot when you get out of your comfort zone. Which I think a lot of your podcast is about getting out of your comfort zone.
For sure. So what was your how'd I get here moment? The moment where you were like, I've either got to turn this around, or the moment that you were like, oh, this is working, I got to keep going. Because sure enough, you fell into the restaurant, the service industry, and then that was your thing. And clearly you haven't stopped since, So what was the moment that you were like, this is working, or I got to make a change?
Yeah, so it's funny because I knew there are two different times, because when I knew it was working is when I stopped filling out applications. In other words, like, I could call somebody and be like, "Hey, let's start this project. Let's open a restaurant." Or someone would call me and say, "Hey, I want to open this place. You want to do it with me?" Like, I didn't do interviews anymore. I didn't fill out applications anymore. People knew what I was up to, and so that's kind of when I knew, okay, I'm established in the business. When I figured out should I stay or should I go, was most of the time, it was quite a few days where I would go out drinking and partying and probably doing a lot of things I should definitely not do. I'm like, this is not a sustainable lifestyle. And like I said before, a lot of the people around me didn't make it. I could think of 4 people that I've worked with that taken their own lives.
Oh my God.
I could think of more that were addicted to drugs. I've seen more that succumbed to total horrible alcoholism. And I kind of just was like, is this where you go? Is this where it goes? Like, where does it go? And luckily I found people that were successful and did make it, and I knew that you could make it at that point. But
Right.
I asked myself, because I've lost people in my own family due to drugs and stuff. So I knew that I didn't want that. So I was fortunate enough to see. Some people can't see. When you're in it, you don't see it. It's kind of like being underwater, you don't know there's a surface. Like there's probably fish that have no idea what a tree looks like, right? So it's like you're in it.
It's the mermaid reference.
It's on my mind right now. I was like, don't say mermaid stuff. Just keep thinking.
I was like, I hope you do.
I should have.
There's so many life lessons. Like once you get, like you said, like you've gone through life, you learn so much, and then even still, like you're still learning. And I think I know at least I have appreciation for the struggles that I went through as well, because I think sometimes when you're put into situations you didn't ask for, you learn a lot more for it than when you get into something that like you feel like, okay, like I could do this, or like this seems like my speed, so like let me try this. And sometimes people come out of those situations and they're like, I didn't learn a thing, or like that felt pointless, or what was even the point of me doing that? Like I didn't get anything out of that. So
then you got to go through it again.
Right. And then you're trying to like find something else to like challenges you or like pushes you. But I agree a lot with what you said, and just saying like, you know, you can't learn unless like you get out there. And I appreciate that you're making things a lot more accessible for people who don't realize things are accessible, because it's always been told to them that it's inaccessible.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
So I guess where do you go from here for Fire by Forge? Like, is there opportunity for growth, multiple locations? Like, could you put this in different towns, like in different communities, or is this kind of like a one-stop shop for now?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I can tell you that our executive director, Ben, who I was telling you about, Ben DeBoe, he's always thinking 10 years out, right? So he's like that guy. He's the guy that's like he's got it planned out for the next 20 years. Me, I'm just trying to get through tomorrow, right?
Right.
So he's got it going on. I just kind of deal with the chaos at hand. I don't think that, yes, to replication, not from us though. This is a really big boat, right? And to do it right, I don't think we have the wherewithal or the bandwidth now anyway to duplicate. However, if someone else came in and like, you know, even in this town, like the North End, because we're in Frog Hollow, the North End could do well with this. I think, you know.
the North End needs it.
Especially if we have the grocery store and sliding scale grocery store. There's a lot of cool things. But then other cities, we've had people from Bridgeport and New Haven say, hey, you know, but we can't do it. But we can show people, teach people, and educate how to do it.
Literally. So what you're doing right now, like hopefully you find the next person or people to kind of
be awesome.
Yeah, keep the legacy going, which goes into the legacy planning that you said he'd been. Oh, it's all clicking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you're getting there. You're getting there.
I get it.
So you're clearly a huge risk taker.
Sadly,
right?
yes.
Did you say
junkie?
sadly?
Well, now that I have my daughter, I do have a good life insurance policy. But now that I have my daughter, I would like to spend some time with her. So.
Gotcha.
I've kind of.
We'll get you out of here soon.
No. Yeah, this is a heavy risk for me taking this podcast. No, but being, you know, I want to be around, so I do things like think about making sure I'm exercising. I'm doing things that I probably wouldn't do normally,
right? Just
to make sure that my family's got me around for a little
cauliflower pizza, like we talked about.
Come on, man.
So tell us about the risk, because it seems you've been successful, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to keep pushing the envelope.
Yes.
To okay, I got to see what's next. You make this bourbon during COVID, correct?
Yes.
Tell us, because that had to be a huge risk.
Yeah. So that kind of risk I've just never been afraid of, because, and I'll tell you why. Like we've all talked about before, when you're put in situations, like Ash said, even like when kids didn't ask to be in those situations, that's kind of when they learn. And I will tell you, when things like that happen to you enough, the fear goes away, because it's like,
yeah, you have nothing to lose.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to die. Like, and even if I do, I would rather die swinging than just die, right? Like, so.
Facts.
So I guess for me, I don't think I've ever been put in a situation I can't get out of yet. So
Speaks
it's like
to your problem solving. Which is
It's like if someone threw you in the water, but you didn't know if you knew how to swim, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's not as hard as I thought it was, or you know. So when I did the bourbon, I didn't have much to lose because COVID happened anyway, and we had to pivot. We had to think of something, and I love that challenge. I love when life says to you, you boy, you better figure it out. You got 2 minutes to figure it out. That's when I'm the most alive I've ever been, because then you are forced to be in the moment. You have no choice but to either be in the moment or retreat. And when you retreat is when you're not alive, you're not living. So I love those moments when I have to be there, when I have to be present. It's sports analogies too. I'm sure you know this. When the game's like tied and there's like 30 seconds and you got a penalty kick, that's probably like, oh, your heart's pumping now.
Right.
And now you're forced to be alive. And I've always been like that. I love it when I'm in a position where I am forced to do nothing but survive and live, not at the risk of dying, but at the risk of, okay, it's a gamble, but I can take what's coming after if I fail, but I'll never be able to take what happens if I don't try.
Right.
I will stay up for the rest of my life. No, I shoulda, and I don't deal well with shouldas. I want to know if I can do it or can't do it. Now, I've gotten better at now the shouldas I put in my pocket because I got a family, like I said. So I just kind of look at a picture of my daughter. I'm like, okay, I can deal with it.
I should not.
I'll let somebody else shoulda on this one.
Yeah.
But I never wanted to pass the torch. I wanted to be the one to jump. So COVID happened. I took a chance. In my opinion, it's paying off for a lot of reasons. But I love it. I love the passion of what I'm doing, and I love the product. And
where can we find it? Because it's local, right?
Yeah,
and that's like, that's one of the dopest things about it. When I first, because as I was telling you earlier, I'm dabbling in bourbons now and things of that nature. So then it was like, oh wait, there's one like here from right around the way. Like I got to find out. So tell us about how you broke into that and the fact that it's local, where it can be found, and all that jazz.
Yeah. So just quickly, I went out during COVID. I was barrel aging an old fashioned. The governor shut down everything, as you guys all know. Ides of March 15th, March 16th, restaurants were done. So I had to figure out how we're going to do this. The governor then said, you can sell booze, but nobody can sit at the bar. Nobody can come in the restaurant, but you sell drinks to go. So I took this old fashioned and I started barrel aging it. What I did is I took bourbon, I took figs, I took birch, I took honey and orange and blended it all together in a barrel. And it was our best seller. It was delicious. So I started selling it by the bottle for quite a bit of money, thinking I won't get much, not many people will buy it. But before I knew it, people were like calling on the phone, hey, I need 2 bottles, I need 3 bottles. I'm like, I couldn't keep up. So I found somebody that could make it on a larger scale with me, and they're in East Hartford, Connecticut, Central Distillers in East Hartford. And we just kind of did a large scale, and it caught on. And so now it's in a lot of bars in Connecticut, but it's in almost every package store, liquor store.
Wow.
And then we're in
awesome.
we're in Missouri, we're in Massachusetts, we were in Jersey for a minute, but the distributor closed. But you can get us online, ship right to your house.
We love the convenience.
Yeah, make it easy.
How's that work? How do you ship things to people's house, like liquor? You
So
can just do that?
I pay a company to do it. I don't do it myself, but there's
like
a company.
DoorDash type thing? Or?
Yeah, it's
trying to remember.
all the way
There's
to
one.
Texas. People like you can go anywhere in the country. So like literally, if you go
Interesting.
online, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Just any average person.
Yeah, we need to be 21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's
At least,
exactly.
but other than that, yeah.
But like, how do they know?
Yeah, well, I think the delivery guy cards you.
At the door.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I got a bottle of Angel's Envy DoorDash to me once, and the dude had to check my ID and scan it.
That must have cost a
Yeah.
fortune because
I didn't
DoorDash
pay
charges.
for it.
Oh, then okay.
Yeah,
You got 2
It
bottles.
was very nice. I did actually.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use
It was
this
the
app.
Angel's
It's called,
Envy
like,
Rye and
Bear
the
something.
Oh
regular.
yeah, nice
It
move.
was a great
But
treat.
it's basically like the app I was telling you about. It's like Bear something, but I've used it for a while now. But it's basically a DoorDash, but specifically for bottles. And yeah, they card you, they scan your ID. Sometimes if you're like in different states, they make you sign for it too. And then like I got it one time. I was in Austin, Texas. The guy had to scan my ID. He took a picture and like matched it up with whatever like program he had on his like door dashing phone. They don't take it for a joke, but like again, like you're selling like high-end bottles sometimes.
Yeah.
But
You give that to a minor, that's on you.
what I'm
right.
saying.
So
Yeah.
like they do
Spooky.
not play, but it's a nice service. It's a very luxury service.
We need those. Like in the Midwest, they have them. The drive-through liquor stores.
Oh yeah, I've
got
seen those.
drive-through
They
liquor
got
stores?
drive-through liquor stores. You could drive through and it's almost like a car wash.
That's game changer.
And you go through and
Yeah.
you see everything. I need that. Yeah.
Arizona and Texas both have them too.
Really?
Like I'm going
Yeah, we need those. So
I don't know if we need those, but
no, probably not.
I don't think so
I wouldn't say
either.
need.
But
It'd be
nice.
convenient.
It'd be nice.
It'd be sweet.
I think if it's under the right leadership and the way they market it, it could go very far.
I'm the right leadership.
there you go.
I just don't have a driveway. Well, a garage. But so how has failing throughout your, career helped you move your career forward?
Yeah. So the book, every chapter in that book right there, every single chapter is a chapter of failures.
I like that.
Every single chapter, which I didn't know until I wrote the book. And as I'm writing it, I'm like, oh, I failed a lot. But
How many chapters?
A lot. I think I want to say 20 chapters. I think.
Oh wow.
But the funny thing is, I failed every time. But just like an episode of like Scooby-Doo or something silly like that, there's a lesson. So it's like you fail, you learn, next chapter.
That's life.
And that's what I wrote. Yeah. So as I was writing a book, I kind of was like, oh, this is for me to realize I got to take inventory. You take stock of yourself. You forgive yourself. You learn, and then you grow. And so I loved, and I think every single person, every human being should write a book at some point in their life. Everyone should.
I want to.
Because again,
just
it wasn't
recently
for
said
me
that.
to be like, I'm going to be a millionaire if I write a book. I wrote it because I had it in me. I had to get it out.
You have a story.
I had a story.
Yeah.
And now the great thing for me is, the most prideful thing is anything happens to me, my daughter has my story, right? She has my story.
Mm-hmm.
So if she can read, I hope she can. Maybe someone will read it to her if she can't, but I'm going to help her out. But if I'm not here, that's here.
Right.
Yeah.
If I have grandkids and I'm not here, that's here. And so I think everybody should tell their story because it's healing for yourself, but it's also, it's around. People, I don't have any parents or grandparents, but if they had a book, it'd be cool to say like,
You make me feel bad because my
don't
mom
mean to, I'm
recently
sorry.
wrote a book.
Okay.
And I'm almost afraid to read it.
Oh, you got to read it.
But it's like her
I feel
childhood
like she's gonna,
into her adulthood.
Yeah.
And like it's her at her most vulnerable
I'm gonna read it.
I was like, I want to read it too.
spot.
What Miss Carmen
But it's
gotta say?
like, man, how do I
They're closed.
I mean, my obviously my opinion of my mother's not going to change, but I get to know her better. I get to know a different side, and that's almost scary.
Yeah.
Because like we've said on the podcast before, we hold our parents to such a high standard, but this is their first time being a parent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like they're also humans. My mom was a person before she had kids. Yeah. So, but because we are kids, we forget that.
Yes.
No, you're supposed to be mom. You're supposed to be dad. You're supposed to be this. And it's like at 32, I have this image of my mom. What's in that book?
That
What's in the box?
what's in the box? You could be blessed in the sense that it's you got to read it when it's right for you to read it. You may not read it until she's no longer in your life, and then you have a special gift because you get to meet her again,
Yeah.
right?
Right,
There could be
right.
family
That
secrets
could be
you never
and
knew.
there could be family secrets in there.
You're in the first chapter. That's not my son. I'd be like, oh!
Not
My bad.
even.
That's
You
crazy.
probably have
That's
like
fair.
some long lost grandfather who was like a king somewhere.
There you go.
And that like
I'm
they're-
reading that
they still
tomorrow.
have family like back like somewhere that like you could be connected to, and then you like figure out who they are. It
But
could be a whole bunch of
son's
things.
got to read it to know that, right?
Right.
So it's like only if my son read this book, he would have $1 million already.
Damn.
And he
Right.
never
Could
read
you
it.
imagine?
A
You've
whole
been holding out. We've been
inheritance
struggling for all these years.
All you got to do is get to chapter 3.
trust. Right. Page 4.
3 feet from gold.
The picture of the map is right there.
So do you would consider yourself successful?
Yeah, 100%.
When
Based
does
on
it
where he came from, for sure.
well, well, right. When does it stop? When have you had enough?
Success for me, I'll say this way. Success for me was when I was at peace with myself. That was success. When I will stop, I'll be honest with you, when I'm no longer here. And someone asked me the other day, we had to do this big thing, like the whole group of Ford City Works, probably 70 of us. And we had a questionnaire. And the questionnaire was, what are you going to do when you retire?
What's that?
And then you write all the answers down, and you roll it up in a ball and you throw it, and somebody else finds it, and they got to find out who they think wrote the thing. When I said, what am I going to do when I retire? I wrote, find a job. I rolled it up and I threw it, all the piles. Someone found it. They came to me in 2 seconds. They knew exactly who wrote that. Because I'm just someone that I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get after it. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I did find peace. And I know now, have the knowledge I have, because I'm not going to have the body that I have now. I'm not saying I'm not going to have this body. No, I'm not going to have the body where I can move and the energy and all that stuff for my whole life. So where my mind has finally met my energy level, I'm lucky enough to now I can take advantage of this. And it's all about me taking advantage of any wisdom that I do have, because I'm wearing glasses now. I never wear glasses. I can't hear. I have one in my ears. My ankles hurt. My body hurts. So I'm trying to be like, okay, I can still move and my brain can still think, and I got some wisdom. This is a commodity. This is like capital. What can I spend on?
Right.
And the spending on is going to be building up my legacy for my family. So I don't have a lot of time to do that. So I want to get it done.
You got a lot of time.
I got a lot of time, like where I am now. Like I feel like right now is where I'm at. I can do some stuff.
You feel like this is like prime
Yes.
timing for you.
Planning on any more kids?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully my partner's listening to this. She's down to do that, but might surprise her.
Talking to you.
We can do this. Yeah, I'd like to. I mean, listen, I'm in love with my daughter now, and
That's beautiful.
They say the first one tricks you, though. They say the first one, if she's good, it tricks you. Like, oh, I want to have another one, and you have another one, and it's like the demon child.
Like your actual child comes.
Yes,
like, oh, damn, this is why I wasn't in
this
school.
one's mine. Yeah. So, listen, I'm down if she's down. So let's do it.
Dope.
That's dope.
Is it okay to say your partner's name?
Yeah, her name is Sam.
Sam, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, not us, y'all.
Because I'll know. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a huge discrepancy.
Baby don't look like me. That's nuts.
I was saying because you're tall. But all right.
Yeah, man, that's great. Well, I mean, we've been chopping it up.
Hold
do
on,
your big one.
before you say your final, we gotta try the. We gotta
Yeah, I was
try.
like,
Oh, I didn't know we were doing that on camera.
missing the best part.
Oh, my bad,
That is the best
y'all.
part.
Like,
I-
this is
that is the
the
best
best
part.
part.
Let's do this.
So I guess
Because we
my
gotta
thing
bring
is
our
you
personal reviews.
you
back
have
to
it
the
all
people.
layered out. Are they
Yeah.
all the same? Or are they all
No,
different?
so they're all different. So
You're gonna be able to tell by seeing them.
yep.
All right, hold on.
If you don't
Talent.
turn it, hold it just like that.
And also, don't drop it.
Don't drop it or turn it. All right, here we go.
I was like, I believe in you, Spencer.
Okay, here we go. So,
Ooh, get a close
Dinner
one up
about
on
to
this.
taste so much better now. Ooh. Said dinner's about to taste so much better now.
Oh, facts.
Thank you, sir.
I will pass this along.
Well, thank you, mademoiselle.
You're so welcome.
okay. So now what you're about to taste,
Wow. This smells amazing.
that's the old fashioned. So this
This is the original Don Dada.
This is called the original dot dot.
Okay.
So this is an old fashioned. So this is 80% bourbon. So it's 80 proof bourbon, sorry. And it's got in it is fig. So there's mission figs.
I definitely smell the fig.
Yep. There's birch sap from New England. So we take birch sap from New England trees. There's honey. That's what sweetens it up at the end. There's Angostura bitters and orange bitters. And there's a little bit of
Angus, you
birch
said?
bark, Angostura.
Wow.
And so what this does is
I feel so bougie.
a lot
holding
of whiskey has heat to it, and so the reason most people don't like whiskey is because of the burn.
this. Right.
And so they're like, they can't taste it; they can only taste the burn. Like a real whiskey drinker that's been doing it for like 20 years, that's an old person that's been drinking whiskey forever. They don't taste that burn anymore. That's sizzled out. But most people still get the burn. What I've done is worked really hard to take that out. And so you taste actually what you're tasting. And so the honey and the fig and all that stuff kind of blends it together. And so take a sip and tell me
And
what
the
you think.
name is.
I'm sorry, Brooklyn. I'll pour you one after. I don't know if you drink on the camera or not, but
I was gonna
And-
say,
That's why she's behind.
And the name is Up and Down, correct?
yep, up and down, rockin'.
and
So that's a rockin' bourbon. Yep,
Up and Down, rockin' bourbon. Go, like you said, you can get it anywhere.
anywhere.
this goes
Salud.
up and it goes
Salud.
down.
That is delicious. And I meant to
Yeah.
ask you,
Yep.
Wow.
the last name Morales, are you Puerto Rican?
No, so Mexican.
Mexican?
Yeah.
Which I don't want to stereotype. I mean, I know we talked about it, but
No, I don't do
Tequila-
lawns or anything. Is that what you're asking me?
You said
So
lawn.
not the stereotype.
He said I don't do landscaping.
He's like, it's not
I don't
in
have a
the
garden.
future seeing
Yeah.
like
Well,
business
You don't like
development.
tacos?
It's just interesting because you would have thought, because of your background, maybe
Yeah.
tequila.
Yeah.
But
No, I'm picking up what you're laying down. So my grandmother,
delicious.
my father's family came over from
I wish I still
Mexico
had it.
okay.
long time ago, right? And so it was a big proponent of her to teach everybody, like, not teach Spanish, not to like that. The culture kind of almost came out a little bit, and a big reason for that was because she wanted them to not be stuck in certain things. She wanted them to flourish. So they kind of, it just, the food's there, the language a little bit, but the culture, kind of the vibe is just a little different.
Got you.
I love tequila, and it's in my heart, and I'm sure I'll get back there someday. But
Tequila's my favorite right now.
tequila's delicious. Yeah. So this is the old fashioned, right? So this is 80 proof. Now
Put hair in your
we're gonna
chest.
get into. So what you just did was called a Kentucky Chew. They call it a Kentucky Chew because what it does is acclimated your mouth to whiskey. So now you kind of got the vibe for whiskey a little bit. So I'm going to give you this. This is the Colonel's Cut. This is our high-end 100 proof. It's not sweet at all. So this is no, like, we don't put honey in it. This is like whiskey.
And
It
did
is
you
from the
take
It smells so.
Well, here's what we do.
Smells like Christmas.
We do infuse it with figs still. So any like type of sweetness you get, you still get figs. We got coriander in there, a little bit of licorice root. So there's still like some infusion. We just don't blend it with like honey and anything like that.
It smelled like eggnog.
Low key, I
It
was
really
like,
does smell like Christmas.
Yeah.
Like this makes
Hold
me
on, maybe you.
I was like, this.
Oh
smells
no, you got the Christmas one. I'm glad you said that.
I was like, are we
I'm
sure?
so glad you said that. So we're gonna switch it up. We can pivot. We can pivot.
Facts.
So what you
Period.
have right now is the pumpkin mash. So this has got all the spices: nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, clove,
Okay.
and we sweeten it with maple. But here's the thing: it's 84 proof, so it is a little hotter. And the reason it's higher proof, this guy didn't want it to be like so I didn't want it to be a pumpkin and whiskey. I wanted it to be a whiskey and pumpkin.
Okay.
So it's got. Listen, I'm from New England, so by law, I had to make a pumpkin product.
I get it.
I think it's
No,
like
that
legal.
is.
But
I was
wa-
gonna ask
For
you
the
too, if you
Starbucks
had
girlies.
one.
Oh yeah, I
Not
did.
even for the Starbucks girlies, like fall time. Like if no business is unturned without pumpkin, like they're gonna lose. Like they have to have.
fair.
They
Ask gonna
have
pull
to
up
have
as soon as
pumpkin.
October hits with a bottle of this.
Oh no, I personally am not really a fan favorite of like pumpkin things. I've learned to grow to like them, but I've always liked the individuality of like
I'm
not
letting it get around my
conforming
mouth.
to it. But I understand like
Yeah, so
having
I
to do
tried
that. So
to
I
not
like that
conform
you
with this.
did the whiskey over the pumpkin because pumpkin's also very powering. Like it's a
Oh, yeah.
powering flavor. Like it could take over a lot of things.
It's overrated.
If you
Personally,
grow a pumpkin too, it's overpowering.
Yeah,
Pumpkins, like you grow a pumpkin
you just take up.
and they just go.
Yeah. just
So
takes
they
up the
are-
whole
they invade.
garden.
I learned today that I have a garden.
Oh, surprise.
You have a garden?
See, you didn't know. In my backyard, there's a garden.
I've
Is-
been
is it
wanting
overgrown
to
or
garden,
someone taking
and
care of it?
now I'm going
There's
to grow.
nothing there. There was just a box.
It's perfect because
Okay.
I was at the Army barracks today. I'm about to buy this $160 BB gun just to start hunting shit. It's so.
Excuse me?
It's a crack barrel. Sorry, we can talk about it. off
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I was gonna say,
what
I
makes
just
the
wanna use
160?
your
Can't you buy a
garden.
$20 one?
Huh?
Can't you buy a $20 one?
It's not gonna hit the same.
And what are you
Okay.
shooting?
The rodents that get into your garden, I got your
Oh.
back.
Oh, okay. That's I see.
You got to protect the garden because
do.
the
I
squirrels,
got that, but I was just
everything.
like,
So you're gonna
Right.
scarecrow. You're like you're gonna be like popping up.
I've been watching Game of Thrones lately, so I think we need to send a message. We shoot the first one, we hang it up. and then everyone knows what time it is in this
Spencer, why are there
backyard.
squirrels hanging in the backyard?
I don't
To
think
send-
I want my garden
send
to
the
have
message.
squirrels hanging down. Like that's not the aesthetic my garden's trying to give.
You need fertilizer eventually.
Wow.
This took a turn.
This just
But I'm sorry.
pumpkin.
All right,
This
so
is
back to the
delicious.
pumpkin.
Right. Let's talk about pumpkins, please.
I
Yeah.
like that. I do like the original better, but they're smooth.
Yeah.
They're all very
This is really
smooth.
smooth.
That's going in eggnog for sure.
Ooh, or some conquito.
You said going in eggnog?
Yeah, so
Oh, it's
like
good with eggnog. Yeah.
like eggnog
Yeah.
with some cinnamon on the top.
Good move. It's also good with hot apple cider.
Ooh,
So this
I
a
is
little
love hot-
spiked hot apple cider.
yeah. You wouldn't even know there's booze in it with hot apple cider. It's so smooth. All right, so this is our creme de la creme. This is the Colonel's Cut 100 proof.
Yeah, this
this
don't
got
smell
figs
like
in it. It's not
Christmas.
sweet at all. This
Yeah,
is
this
like your
smells like
bourbon
business.
drinker's bourbon. This is business.
Like we gonna have a
Yeah.
conversation about
If
it.
you want, you could put a cube in it. If you feel like it's going to be a little too hot, there's ice cubes over there. Feel free. Otherwise, sip and enjoy.
I don't run away from challenges like you said.
There you go.
I was like, I'm small, so I might take a little ice cube, but I'll try it first. All right, here we go.
It's not too much bite.
Doesn't taste like 100 proof, right?
No, that's smooth.
Okay.
Oh wow, Ash,
would
you
drink
drank
that.
the whole thing.
Right,
You said
Ash?
I might take an ice cube and then I was gone.
Ash is
Yeah.
Ash is the most gangster
This
one
is
on
good.
here.
Yeah, that's
I don't mean to sound surprised. I'm
No,
sorry.
that-
No,
Hey,
it's delicious. I'm not a
I feel like
take
it
it.
tastes like I don't want to sound corny because like I like to go to like a lot of wine tastings and stuff like that, but like with each glass and each flavor, you truly can tell like the care and time that was put into it, and like you can tell a lot from that. And I feel like I've just learned that with like wine tastings, like and taking the time to like get the proper ingredients, let it age, let it brew. That I'm just like,
I appreciate you saying that.
that's some nice stuff, y'all. And I know a lot of people don't like the dark liquors, but get back into the dark liquor game.
come
Get you
back.
some nice
That's right.
bourbon.
What I need people to understand,
Up
right,
and down
especially
bourbon.
like people in our age demographic, when you hear dark liquor, you think
Henny.
You
Yeah, they
think
Remy.
think Henny.
Yeah, you like
you say
you-
Crown Royal.
like this is nothing like that.
No,
oh
but,
no, this is
but
like the
don't
wines.
knock
This is
cognac.
Like the Rhone.
No. I'm
no,
not
no.
Oh yes,
no.
Cognac's really good, but I
This
get what
is
you're
just
saying.
because
Yeah,
people
this is
say,
different.
"Oh, I don't do the darks. I don't do
Yeah.
the darks," and it's
Right.
like, but this is a different type of liquor. I always
Yes,
tell people
if someone's trying to open up their palate and like be grown
Exactly.
about having a grown drink, it's like when you used to go to college, you used to get like the Henny, the Taylor pour, you know, like the easy, cheap stuff just to have a good time. But it's like as you grow and mature your palate, that's why I always tell people like during COVID, I did two things. I worked on myself and I grew my palate. I got into wines, I worked on myself, and I did a bunch of things. But I'm like, this right here, this is going on my bar cart.
I always tell people if you're gonna drink bourbon, you're not turning up off of this. You're not
No.
turning up. You know, like you're gonna get a good buzz if you
Yeah.
drink enough of it, especially on the rocks or if you go get an old fashioned. But you're not taking a bottle of this to a party to be
No.
like, no,
But that's
you're
the
like,
intent,
you're enjoying
though.
it. Exactly.
It's your intent behind like why are you
Exactly.
drinking this? Like, is my intent because like I just want to like have a good time and go crazy, or like I'm just trying to chill and relax?
This will
or,
go
like,
nice around a
a
fireplace.
campfire,
Yep.
or a nice barbecue.
I got the bonfire in the backyard.
Listen, let me get a little
Ooh-cha.
glass of this while I garden in your backyard.
Oh
This is
yeah, it's
gonna
good
go
for
great.
gardening
and shooting. No, I'm sorry.
and shooting. Yeah.
So how far? Because I'm a Scotch fan, but
Okay.
I don't really know much about Scotch.
Sure.
That's
Like
good.
I just sat down one summer with my boys, and I was just like, we were sipping it with these
Yeah.
big ass ice cubes. I was like,
You know what
wow,
you were drinking?
Oh, the circle ones or the cubed ones?
the cubed ones.
Nice.
I remember my favorite one is Monkey something. But
Monkey
you-
shoulder.
Yeah, so you know there's a little, I don't want to call it a hole in the wall, but it's like a dive bar in Glastonbury next to the
The
grocery store.
spicy green bean.
No, it's next to the grocery store off Manchester, not off Manchester Road, but it's off Hebron Ave, I think.
The Diamond.
Is it to the right of the
It's like a
grocery store?
sports bar.
Nah, I think it's Highland Park Market, and then there's a place to the right of it. They have
Oh, you
extensive.
talking about Birch Hill Tavern?
Yes, yeah.
Boy, they're gonna be mad you called them a dive bar, but
That's why I said I didn't want to call them a dive bar, but
I know.
it's Glastonbury.
It's like an old school tavern. Like it's not light in there.
Right, yeah. They have great food. Great, their salads hit the spot.
So
but
they carry up and down, and I would tell you, I agree with you. They do have great food. They have good wings. You would like those, and yeah, they're good people. That's a good bar. You got a good one there.
they have an extensive Scotch
Yeah,
selection.
yeah.
So
They
I
got a
used
lot
to,
of whiskey.
I used to just go and try like a different one. So Scotch is whiskey?
So all Scotch is whiskey, just like all bourbon's whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon or Scotch.
I've heard that before.
It's the way. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. So
No, I was gonna ask a question.
whiskey is the category.
Oh, okay.
And then they define all them individually. So bourbon can only be made in the United States. So you'll never get like a bourbon made in.
it's like illegal or?
Well, it's just it's essentially legal. Like they passed a bill, and just
Okay.
like Mexico, you can't make tequila in the United States. It can only be made in Amatitan in that region of Mexico. You can only get Scotch in Scotland. You can only get cognac from France. Like we can't make cognac here in the United States. You can make, like I can make a tequila based agave based product, but I can't call it tequila.
Oh.
So yeah.
That
wow.
blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because I truly
Man.
thought that people were trying to like replicate in the United States just to like get product out faster.
Yeah.
But that makes
So
a
you
lot
can't just
more-
make moonshine anywhere either?
No, you can. Moonshine,
moonshine a
you
little
can make anywhere.
I was like, we're stepping into a different game now.
I don't
now
even
you
moonshine
big-
legal. You
Right,
man,
you dip your big toe or something else.
moonshine to put some hair on your chest.
Right, just a little-
You got some in the trunk?
Are you the feds? Like, you the ops? We don't
No, I ain't
camera,
wearing a
man.
wire. But I love to try it.
Oh, no.
I was like, Justin, not the feds.
Yeah, I'm good.
He good.
It was just, but it was such a specific question. Like, why did Trump? I didn't drive here, by the way.
Got
You're
it on somebody
talking
else's
to a
trunk?
You
man
trying to
that's
plant
made
something in my
bourbon.
trunk, bro?
I feel like all questions are genuine because he made his own bourbon.
No,
like, he's
that's
accredited.
correct.
No, this is fire.
That,
Thank you.
I'm
I
actually
appreciate
about to leave here and pick up a bottle.
for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
Unless you have them
1,000%.
for sale here. Like, we
No,
definitely support local
sadly, I
business.
can't now because we're closed. But
Oh, right.
if we were at the distillery, I'd be happy to give you guys a bottle.
Hey.
We should have had it. We should have done it there.
Listen, we can do it
drank
next
a whole
time.
bottle.
Yeah.
Part two.
Give us
There
a
you go.
tour, all
Part
the
two.
mumbo jumbo. But yeah, I mean, we did the tasting, we did the everything. We
It's
can
been
do our
great.
15 seconds of fame and wrap up.
So the 15 seconds of fame. I don't know if so the 15 seconds of fame, you can promote anything yourself, whatever you want to say. Any last tidbits? It's kind of your time to shine. And if you do a good job, you can go over 15 seconds.
Oh, cool. If I do a bad job, you play me off.
Oh, yeah, we like clip.
About 6 seconds. Sure.
No, he can't say that. I'm sorry.
So start there and work our way over.
Oh yeah, wow! I never start. This is great. Well, this is.
Hold on now.
Oh yeah, there we go. It gives me
All
time
right,
to
here we
check
go.
the date. All right, cool. So this has been a beautiful Monday. Was it April 21st? Yo, this month
Sure
flew by.
April does that best though.
Does it?
Because I feel like no one's paying attention to April like that. So it's just
Not
like
April's a stepchild. So, like,
He called April Connecticut. It's a drive-through month.
yes, yes. standing on
April's
it.
shady because the reason April Fools exist is because it snows like April 10th. So like April makes you believe
quite
the
literally.
world is changing.
See,
And then
I
it
always
doesn't
said
change.
there's that one day in April that
I
you
would-
get some snow.
I would love to open a bottle of this,
Yeah.
right? Put a mic down and just have a conversation with you.
Let's do 2 bottles.
Like,
Yeah, right?
I feel like
Why
you-
limit yourself?
No, listen.
Right. I was
Like,
like, I
I
just
don't-
want to pick your brain.
Yeah, pick your brain
No,
and
it's been a
just.
great conversation.
No, I
It's great talking
appreciate
to you
it,
guys.
but yeah, my bad.
No,
You guys
you
got
good.
You guys got real good insight, and it's honestly fun to talk. So thank you for having me on.
Hey,
Hey, thank you. And you
Welcome
didn't even know
back
you were gonna be on
anytime.
camera today.
No, I did not know about the camera.
my bad. My bad.
He's we're
But
recording.
that's okay. That's okay.
Right. Yeah, no, so shoot. I think if nothing else, I would say from this episode, what I took away is find what you're passionate about, be unapologetic about it, and go for it full force. When you fall down, fall forward. When you take a couple steps back, heal from it, have grace on yourself, and then keep going. That's it.
Okay.
I had to do something because Ash about to drop something. Let me just turn my mic off.
I'm screaming. Hold on. Let me get my glasses now. So I would say my 15 seconds of fame is definitely like big shout out to you, Justin, all the work that you're doing. Thank you for having us in your space today. It's a beautiful space. If no one has been here, or if you even like me have driven by and you wonder what it is, just stop by and
We
see
gotta
what's-
drop a pin.
Yeah.
Because people will know that
It's right by is that Nova, the
we're
gas
right
station?
on, by
No-
Capitol and Broad.
Noel, whatever down there.
Capital and Broad.
Yeah, like people, everybody
Frog
that
Hollow.
listens to us has driven by here.
A
To
thousand
your
times.
point, to your point, 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm victim to it every time, but yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate the work that you're doing. I'm a big advocate on just like making things more accessible for people who have been disadvantaged of being told that it's not accessible when it is. So keep doing the work that you're doing. I love the work that you're doing. Excited the way we can also promote the work that you're doing as well too.
Facts.
And you know, today's Monday. It's the start of the week. I'm happy to start the week off with y'all. So even if life has gotten you down so far, keep working, keep pushing, keep striving. You know, I'm Queen Pivot, so we just gonna pivot and we gonna keep pushing forward. So y'all got this.
You see why I didn't want to go after?
Yeah. Well, now I got to go after.
Good luck.
That's the problem.
And you better be good. I'm just kidding.
I think you're going to cut me off after 15 seconds, but
I won't let him.
I'm gonna say that for me, I one of my biggest appreciations in life is when I meet other people that are curious and insightful, and have passion, and so I'm grateful that you guys called me up and we had this conversation. I could do this a million times a day. This is what it's all about. At the end of the day, is talking to each other and hearing each other, and it makes me think, and it's such a great thing. So I appreciate you for doing that. I will say, come to Fired by Forge, and if you want to figure out how to help people, come here and eat and drink. It's really that simple, because all that money goes back not into an owner's pocket, but to the program. And so eat and drink, have fun, enjoy yourselves. I was blessed to be hospitable to you guys, and I hope you guys come back. I can't wait to serve you as guests.
You're going to see me on Sunday.
I'm appreciative of that. And then I'll also say buy Up and Down, Rockin' Bourbon, because I got a baby to feed, and she's cute, but she needs the money.
And they work
She got diapers and all this other stuff. And
Yeah, baby stuff ain't cheap. It's crazy.
not.
It's really crazy in these times.
so if you have to, buy a bottle of bourbon, buy that one.
Right. All of the ones
all
that
of
say
them.
that though. Look
Literally.
for that specific
Up
label.
and Down.
If you can't remember the name, look for the label, y'all.
Just look it up and down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, look Up and Down and you will find it by saying it out loud. And then my book can be purchased on my website and or like Barnes & Noble online or Amazon, Serving Life, Behind Bars, Kitchens and Hospitality. Learn all my mistakes so you don't make them. And thank you.
Word.
That was
Word.
great. That was great.
Last but not least, thank you guys. As always, every week, appreciate y'all coming out. Justin, thank you for having us. I'm truly humbled because similar to like you just said about conversation, this is what this is all about. Mm-hmm. This is why I initially started the podcast. So we are going places, obviously, but this was like a great night. I say it often like, yo, this was my favorite episode, but like to date, you know what I mean? Every time we have a conversation like this where we can sit with like-minded individuals and just go down Pandora's box is like, it's great for me.
And genuine individuals too.
Right. So with my 15 seconds of fame, just support. Show love. Don't wait until people grow. Don't wait till people are big to say, I knew that guy or that woman. Be a part of their lives. Be a part of their journey. And with that being said, this is the best podcast in CT. This damn sure the best bourbon in CT.
Facts.
And it's a wrap. And we see y'all next week.